Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to give my quick take on Halloween Ends. But before I do that, let me give you the quick synopsis, and this comes from AMC. 4 years after the events of last year's Halloween Kills, Lori is living with her granddaughter Allison and is finishing writing her memoir. Michael Myers hasn't been seen since. Lori, after allowing the specter of Michael to determine and drive her reality for decades, has decided to liberate herself from fear and rage and embrace life. But when a young man, Corey Cunningham, is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror that will force Lori to finally confront the evil she can't control once and for all. So this is, this new chapter of Halloween started a few years ago, and this is supposed to be like the finale, right? As it's called, Halloween ends. And yeah, I was disappointed. It starts off well. So every movie has, a beginning, middle, end. And I liked the beginning. I really did. I enjoyed the beginning. But the middle and the end were really disappointing. And one of the reasons why it was so disappointing for me after watching the film, because I just watched it I just came out the theater maybe like an hour or a little bit over an hour ago, and something that really just stuck with me is like, wow, how little Michael Myers they used in this film, and it's supposed to be like the culmination, right? And the way they used him as a prop instead of being like the terror that he is, right? They used more. So Corey was really the main focal point as far as like the evil, if you will. And it's weird how he became, and I'll explain how he became the evil, but like I said, this is supposed to be the ending. And what's really disappointing is how they use Michael Myers. It was just really odd. Really odd choices they made. And also with the granddaughter, it was kind of an odd thing when, yeah, it's weird. So I'll explain. So, okay, so basically in the beginning, so Corey is babysitting a kid. But, in this town, everyone knows about Michael Myers, right? Like the stories behind it, and it's gonna be Halloween. So, or I think it is Halloween at that day, and I think this takes place in 29. I think the movie is 2019, and so he comes in to babysit a kid, and they're watching like this, some horror films, whatever. And as he goes to the kitchen to grab something to eat or to drink, the kid, you can hear like some rumbling going on, right? And like a lamp falls down. So he goes to check out what's happening, and he doesn't see the kid, so he's calling out for the kid, and the kid is screaming like "Help me!" whatever. So he goes upstairs, and what ends up happening? There's no Michael Myers, but the kid locks the guy in. And so the guy, Corey, is like, "Hey, let me out." And he starts panicking, and he starts kicking in the door, kicking the door, right? Trying to open up get out. And as the parents of the kids are coming in the house, basically he kicks the door, it opens, it hits the kid goes flying and goes over the staircase and falls down and dies. So basically, I guess what they're trying to say is the fear of Michael Myers is what caused the death, really. So Corey doesn't go to jail or anything, but um, I forgot what the something manslaughter, but like accidental or something. I don't know what the hell what he was charged with, but he didn't go to jail or anything like that. So he's out and about, but everyone knows the story, and he's kind of ostracized from the community, really. So he's working with his father in this like mechanic shop, or like almost like a junkyard, and he like fixes things and welds things together. And so he has like, and there's some kids in town that are messing with him. so he's troubled, right? So with all the things that are happening, and so then she defends him when the local kids push him, and he starts bleeding from a cut in his hands because he was holding like this glass of milk. And so the kids also make fun of her, right? Because they know the story of Lori as well, and with Michael Myers and all that, right? So they say, oh, who's the freak and who's the psycho, or whatever, right? So what Lori decides to do is introduce Corey to the granddaughter, Allison. So Allison is like a nurse, I believe, and so she treats Corey, and eventually they start dating. So then one day, uh, Corey leaves this party that he goes with Allison, but the mom of the kid, the one that he babysit, was at the party, and she starts yelling at him, and he leaves. Right, so As he's walking, the same kids that kind of bullied him earlier in the film show up again, and so this time, the main bully pushes him, and Corey ends up going over the bridge, and he falls. And so they don't know if he's dead or not, but they don't want to check on him, so they leave. So then we see this hand drag Corey into like the sewer system, and then it's Michael Myers. So as when Corey wakes up, it's a weird sequence because when Corey wakes up, there's no Michael Myers there, right? So he's walking in that sewer system, and then all of a sudden, a hand comes and grabs him, right? It's choking him, and it's obviously Michael Myers. And as they're looking at each other, I don't know if it's seeing. So we start seeing images as the audience of what's happened to Corey, right? All the things that have happened to him. And what I don't understand is, it Michael seeing those images from Corey, or is it Corey seeing them? I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing that I'm not sure about what's happening. But what it seems to be doing is, but then what happens is he lets him go. But as he's watching him, it seems like somehow Michael Myers is transferring like part of his evil over to Corey. So they kind of, throughout the whole series, right? They've sort of made him supernatural because he has like the strength. He's like withstands a lot of beatings. I believe in the last movie, the Halloween, not Hollywood, kills. I believe he even gets shot. So they really made him like a supernatural being. It's you can say that in the other ones as well because he just doesn't die. Sure, but really they really emphasize, at least to me, the supernatural side of Michael Myers in these last few films and this iteration of Halloween. And so did they give him a new power, that he can transfer like evil? It's weird, man. It's kind of weird. Or did Michael sympathize with Corey after he saw those images, or it's like I don't know. It's bizarre. So technically he sort of became like his protege. Corey became like the protege of Michael Myers, but then he's also in the beginning he's sort of really weak, Michael Myers. And it's an odd thing. I don't know. It's weird. So he's been living presumably in the sewers for years now, because he hasn't been seen. Because it's saying like it says right there, like 4 years after the last movie. So it's weird the way they went with it. So then basically Corey's the one that's after that happened, he's now killing people. Basically everyone that's wronged him or what he wants to like burn down the city, right? So as he's dating Allison, they start talking about like just getting away, and because this city is just already too toxic, right? Too toxic for them, too toxic for him, too toxic for it's just too toxic. But they're like, oh, let's burn the city down. But in a sense, Lori Allison is just saying that it's venting, right? But Corey is like, no, for real, let's really do this, right? So he starts killing people, right? He doesn't do it with Allison, but he starts killing people. And that's my main issue, I think, with the film is like they they made him the focal point. And I think would have been more interesting is that if Corey, after so getting the evil, whatever, like really, because he seemed like a good guy, just with bad circumstances. If they would have had him go to Lori and be like, "Hey, I met Michael, but he let me go, and now I feel like this. I'm different. I feel different. Like I feel like maybe there's an evil. Is there an evil in me now?" Right? Because there is a scene where Lori is telling Corey to leave Allison alone because now she senses something wrong with Corey. She sees in his eyes, in Corey's eyes, like now there's like an evil. So she feels something, right? But I think it would have just been more interesting for me if Corey would have confided in Lori about what he's feeling, and they could have helped each other. But instead, they made him the new Michael Myers, right? But this is supposed to be the ending of the series. The ending of Halloween. Halloween is Michael Myers, not Corey Cunningham. So that's like the biggest issue I had with the film is like you have your bad guy, and this is supposed to be the end. Focus on they're the main stars. They're this is the culmination that we're all supposed to be waiting for. What happened? Why are you pivoting? It's too late for that. Just go all out and just be like, have these two go at it. So that's the biggest drawback for me in this film is it's like what were you guys thinking when you guys wrote this film? It's like, come on. And then at the end, yeah, they do fight and she wins out and they do this weird thing where they parade him through in the city, in the town, and they take him to that junkyard and they basically put him in that machine that takes the I guess the cars or the scrap metal and just grinds it down, and she kicks him in, and you can see his body just right getting destroyed. So it technically ends. And by the way, I did stay to the end of the credits. There's nothing after. So yeah, so the presumably it ends, right? Unless it makes a lot of money, then they'll start a new franchise, most likely like in 5 years. But yeah, that was so disappointing. So weird the choices they made. Again, it was supposed to be the end, right? Halloween ends. And yep, Corey, yeah, he's the new bad guy. What the? So he dies too. Michael Myers ends up killing him. So, yeah, what the hell? And then, another thing that actually affected, I think, me, my enjoyment in the film is some damn kids, man. Teenage kids. Holy crap. So I sat at the top of the theater, and to the right of me, some kids came in late, right? Probably didn't even pay for it. They came in late, and they just were talking and making noises throughout the entire film. They were doing these squeaking sounds with their feet, just annoying, just super annoying. One of the kids was going behind, crawling on the floor, going behind the seats to scare his friends. Oh my god! And then they would scream, and then loudly they would go, "Here comes a jump scare!" Oh, super frustrating. Man, if I was seeing it with my brother back home, my brother would have yelled at him. He would have, because he's done it before. He's gotten up and yelled at people like, "Shut the f up." So I think my brother would have yelled at them for sure, because my brother doesn't give enough. But I didn't, and other people didn't either. And I feel bad for the people right in front of them, because there was a couple in front of them, and I feel bad for them because they were. If they were annoying me and they were like a good, there was a lot of seats between us, but the people in front of them were right directly in front of them. I feel bad for them because oh, they were annoying me. I can just imagine the annoyance that they were feeling. So oh, that was just that was another part that was frustrating me. Just hearing these kids doing that. Ah, they didn't care, man. But yeah, this movie, going back to the movie, is disappointing. Super disappointing. I can see why it's getting low reviews. I haven't seen the reviews for it, but I know it's gotten bad reviews. The Rotten Tomatoes is pretty low. But yeah, it's disappointing because it's the ending, the finale, and Michael Myers is just he's a throwaway character. He's a secondary character, and that sucks. So that was my take on it. Let me know what do you think. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Maybe you did, and if you did, that's great. But I didn't. And they'll probably do another one most likely if it makes money. Because I know in some theaters it was kind of sold out. It wasn't in mine at all, not even halfway. But yeah, if it does good money, it's probably gonna, they'll probably bring it back. Hopefully it's better. I'll probably watch it, still watch it. But yeah, just let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it or if you didn't. Let me know why. And yeah, and guys, feel free to subscribe. It really helps the channel. It helps me grow. And check out my other content. Maybe you will like it, and maybe they'll give you the wanting to subscribe. So yeah. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.